I heard the news that Charlie Kirk, one of the most outspoken defenders of gun rights in America, had been shot dead at Utah University. Charlie built his career defending the Second Amendment, standing on stages across the country, telling young conservatives that firearms were essential to freedom. He once said, "I think it's worth it to have a cost of, unfortunately, some gun deaths every single year so that we can have the Second Amendment."
I think it's worth to have a cost of, unfortunately, some gun deaths every single year so that we can have the Second Amendment to protect our other God-given rights.
And yet, in the end, it was a gun that silenced him. This is the story of Charlie Kirk's fight for the right to bear arms, the bloody history of mass shootings in America, and the question that still divides the nation: should the right to own a gun outweigh the right to live? If you believe in truth, history, and justice, subscribe now, because what we're about to explore is not just Charlie's story, it is America's. Charlie Kirk was born in 1993 in Arlington Heights, Illinois. By the age of 18, he was already making headlines in conservative circles. In 2012, he founded Turning Point USA, a youth-based political organization designed to spread conservative values on college campuses. By his 20s, Kirk had become a fixture on Fox News, podcasts, and university tours. His brand was unapologetic conservatism, pro-life, anti-woke, and above all, pro-gun. At college debates, Kirk framed firearms as the cornerstone of American liberty. He would often challenge students: "Show me one time in history where disarming citizens has worked out well. It always ends in tyranny." His supporters saw him as a bold truth-teller. His critics saw him as reckless, fueling division in a country already drowning in gun violence. To understand Kirk's passion, we need to revisit the origins of the Second Amendment. Ratified in 1791, it reads, "A well-regulated militia, being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed." At the time, America was a young republic. Memories of British tyranny were fresh. The founders feared standing armies, so they envisioned a nation where citizens themselves could rise as militia to protect freedom. But the muskets of 1791 were nothing like today's AR-15 rifles. A skilled soldier could fire 3 rounds per minute. Today, a semi-automatic rifle can unleash dozens of bullets in seconds. For nearly 2 centuries, the Second Amendment was interpreted as a collective right tied to militias. But in 2008, the Supreme Court case District of Columbia v. Heller redefined it as an individual right. From that moment on, the floodgates of debate opened wider. Kirk anchored himself in this modern interpretation, telling crowds, "The Second Amendment is not about hunting. It's not about sports. It's about making sure that the government fears its people." Charlie Kirk's philosophy was simple: guns equal freedom. He believed every citizen should have access to firearms for self-defense, for family protection, and as a safeguard against government overreach. He argued that tragedies caused by guns were outweighed by the benefits of liberty. On one of his podcasts, he said,
I think it's worth to have a cost of, unfortunately, some gun deaths every single year so that we can have the Second Amendment to protect our other God-given rights.
His critics called it delusional. His supporters called it common sense. According to the FBI, the United States experiences more mass shootings than any other developed nation. The Gun Violence Archive recorded 656 mass shootings in 2023 alone. That's nearly 2 a day. The CDC reported that in 2022, firearms surpassed car accidents as the leading cause of death for American children and teenagers. The tragedies are endless. Columbine High School, 1999, 2 students killed 13 and injured 24, shocking the nation. Sandy Hook Elementary, 2012, 20 children, ages 6 and 7, were gunned down, along with 6 adults. Las Vegas, 2017, a shooter fired from a hotel window, killing 60 people and injuring more than 400 in the deadliest mass shooting in modern U.S. history. Each time, the cycle repeats. Grief, outrage, demands for reform, followed by political stalemate. Critics of Kirk argue that his philosophy ignores the blood on America's streets. March for Our Lives, the student-led movement, born after the Parkland shooting in 2018, directly opposed his stance. Survivors like Emma Gonzalez demanded,
"To every politician who is taking donations from the NRA, shame on you."
President Joe Biden has repeatedly called for bans on assault weapons, saying,
"There's no reason someone needs a weapon of war with 100 rounds, 100 bullets that can be fired from that weapon. Nobody needs that."
Public opinion is mixed. A 2023 Pew Research survey found that 58% of Americans favor stricter gun laws, but among conservatives, the number drops to just 20%. And then, irony turned into reality. Charlie Kirk, the man who believed guns made America safer, was himself killed by one. Reports say he was speaking at Utah University when a shooter opened fire. The very right he championed became the weapon that ended his life. His wife, Megan Kirk, forgave the shooter, but the nation asked, would she have forgiven if the killer had been black, or Muslim, or an immigrant? History suggests the answer is no. Because in America, race shapes the narrative of crime. White shooters are often framed as mentally ill. Black shooters are cast as criminals. Muslims are branded as terrorists. The irony of Charlie's death reignited the debate he fueled for years. Are guns protecting America or destroying it? Pros of widespread gun ownership: self-defense in emergencies, deterrence against crime, constitutional right rooted in American history. Over 45,000 gun deaths annually in the U.S. CDC 2022. Mass shootings now a near-daily occurrence. Children practicing active shooter drills instead of focusing on education. Easy access for the mentally ill, abusers, or unstable individuals. The death of Charlie Kirk did not end the debate. It intensified it. Supporters mourned him as a martyr of freedom. Critics called his death a tragic warning of what happens when guns flood a society. The truth is harder. Both sides see blood on their hands, but neither will let go of their convictions. America remains trapped between two truths: guns empower and guns destroy.